Welcome back, you absolute legends. So I'm starting this episode off. It might even be over a couple of episodes. I'm not really quite sure how this is going to pan out, but we're going to see what we can do. Is all about a bit of a vlog into attending as a small, very small, new microbrewery to London Craft Beer Festival. I want to try and capture as much of the run-up as I can, some of the trials and tribulations, jobs, things we've got to do along the way, which I'll talk about in a sec, and all the other stuff that goes around, as well as try and capture some footage while we're there for the couple of days, for the 4 sessions, trade session Friday morning, public session Friday evening, and then public session Saturday. I say morning, it's like 11 till 4. And then Saturday evening, which will be utter mayhem, which will be, proper messy. And yeah, just try and capture some of that, and just try and show you guys what it's like for a small brewery to go to one of these really big beer festivals for the first time. You know, I've been to plenty of beer festivals, but I've never been as an exhibitor, particularly as a very small one like Maverick is. So a couple of highlights, if you want to use the word highlight, I suppose, that goes with the festival. So although we were invited, we were asked to fill one of the last few spots for small microbreweries, we still had to pay. So to put that into context, that was £2,000 for us to have the smallest pitch, which is 2 metres by 2 metres, £2,400 including VAT. So that's an outlay straight away for us, just to have the pitch. That's before anything else, any other expenses. Other things that kind of go with that is, obviously, as punters, you guys paying to get in, all your beer is covered for the whole 5 hours you're there. So us as breweries, we get up to 300 litres paid for by the beer festival, but paid for at a flat rate of £90 a keg. Well, you know, £90 for a 30 litre keg, essentially what it works out at, across the board. So if that's an imperial stout, or if it sits at 2% table beer, doesn't matter between the two, and only up to that limit. Now, obviously, us as a small brewery, we are pretty much taking what we're going to get paid for. We can't really afford, like the big boys, to just, you know, lavish out, you know, 20, 30 kegs of impy stouts to the baying public, which we'd love to be able to do, but, you know, we're a small brewery, second staff members just started, we just can't afford that sort of stuff. So, you know, we're going to try and keep within the confines that we've got and try and work within it. So there's that. We need a bar set up. We need a mobile bar set up. We've got one Linda machine. I'm going to ask another local brewery if I can borrow theirs. But we need an actual bar, and I don't want to just turn up with a wallpapering table and a few twinkly lights. I want to try and do something a bit better than that, kind of put our best foot forward. So I'm looking at how I'm going to try and build a pallet bar on wheels that hopefully we'll be able to use again in other events and at the brewery and birthday parties, outside events and stuff. So we'll see how that goes. Obviously we've got to get the beer there. The beer has to be on site by the 15th of July. So about 3 days before the event starts. I think 3-4 days before the event, 4 days before the event starts. It's all the way up at the magazine, up near right next door to the O2 in London. It's like an hour and 40 drive for us to get there, hour and 40 drive back. So I need to have a look at how do I weigh up maybe putting all the beer on some pallets and shipping it up there versus fuel and my time to kind of go there and back. Ultimately, my time's free, so I might end up driving out there, but we'll see. The delivery windows are quite kind of business houry, so particularly with my day job, that might be a bit more of a struggle. So I need to sit down and do a bit of thinking around how we're going to achieve that one. And then there's build time. So you're given 3 odd days to build your stand beforehand, before you get there. Before the event, it's got to be built and done. So we need to kind of get up there again on a different day and set up, get all the linders up there. Obviously, once the beer's at the venue, they keep it cold chained and cold stored for you, and they bring it out at the set sessions that you've defined. So what we've had to do weeks in advance is say what beers we're taking, how much of it, and also what sessions of those 4 sessions we want those individual kegs, which we've had to label a number and identify for them. So they then kind of, you know, bring them out to you when you said you needed them. So that's been some real thought. I've had to kind of guess, essentially. I don't know what, if people are like I'll be, who knows. And then obviously them being up there. So the thing that I realised the other day that I hadn't quite appreciated was for security purposes and Joe Public coming in from 11 for the first session, as a exhibitor, you need to be on site and inside the door with your lanyard and ID by 10 o'clock in the morning. No exceptions. So that brings a kind of extra level of complexity for myself, Kirsty or Charlie or anyone else that's going to come and help us. But we need to be up there early doors. I'm looking at maybe having to rent an Airbnb close by, because obviously I'm going to be doing the kind of setup the Friday, all day Saturday, and then the takedown is on Sunday. You need to be taken down and gone by 4. So I'm thinking I might try and find an Airbnb with some parking locally to try and kind of, you know, cushion that blow. Well, that'll still be, you know, 100 odd quid plus 150 quid. I mean, this is central London as well. I think it's kind of some places in Millwall area I've been looking at. Yeah, and then there's an expenses for the staff and for the guys coming up and doing this. Obviously, I'm paying them as well, covering their expenses. So, you know, it is all kind of racking up. I think we're probably looking, you know, in the realms of sort of £4,500 just to be there. But, you know, can you put a price on exposure? Can you put a price on getting your name out there? I don't know. I don't think so. So, again, we've never done something like this before. So, you know, it's a voyage of discovery. We might not do it again if it proves to be so expensive and we don't see the benefit out of it. But sometimes in life you never know unless you try. And that's how Mavericks ended up doing what it's doing. So let's give it a try. Hopefully it'll be a bit of fun along the way, and you guys will enjoy watching it as well. Obviously there'll be a few disasters in there, because there always is, but you know. So yeah, that's kind of like the plan. That's a rough kind of rundown of what we've got going on. And what I want to try and capture. So sorry if there hasn't been many videos prior to this. Obviously there's been a few brewing videos of brewing some of the beer. But yeah, so yeah, hopefully we can take you along the way and capture some more of the footage along the way. And yeah, we'll see you there at the beer festival. Hey again, everyone. I've got a bit of a confession to make. You know, I said, this is obviously a few days later, that I was going to try and capture some of the run-up to LCBF, and kind of so you could see some of the process and stuff we go through. Been doing some of that stuff, but I might have had a minor mishap and forgotten one sort of key activity that I didn't record. So I thought I'd just give you a bit of a show around now and kind of, yeah, just show you what I've done. Really sorry I didn't capture any of the build, but it's worth it. It's quite cool, I think. Let me show you. So here she is. This is the Maverick mobile bar. We've had this wonderful bit of sign writing done by Merlin Shrimp Designs. I'll stick their info along with this video so you can go and check the lady out. Epic bit of sign writing done right here to put our logo on the front of our mobile bar that we're taking to LCBF. So this is the thing to look out for if you're at LCBF. Come and see us. This is definitely the thing. So what I've basically done is I've created us a mobile bar out of pallets. That is essentially it. So you can probably, by having a look at here, you can see the construction we've got going on is basically it's one pallet along the bottom, one pallet on each side, but then I've cut the sort of inside strips off on the inside, sat that on there, cut the blocks off, brought them down to then rest another pallet on top. What I ended up doing was, whether you can see here, I put in the strips in here to refix the blocks to, so this can sit on top. I put a bit of timber, a bit of hardboard down inside, and obviously the front is on there, which gives us a nice little storage area for, you know, putting our stuff and bits and pieces while we're at beer festivals. In theory, this is going to be available to go with hire with our Linda machine to other events. So if you've got a party or something like that that you want us to provide our delicious draft beers at, you can get this as well at your event. Nice and really good on casters. Put a little handle on here so we can move the thing around, and it moves super easy actually for something that's quite weighty. It moves really well. Really pleased with how it's come out.
actually, if I'm honest. Come out way better than I planned, actually, to be fair. But yeah, so this is going to be our little stand at LCBF. We've got to get some varnish over it. We're going to have one Linda machine here, dispensing 2 beers, another Linda machine on this side dispensing another 2, so there'll be 4 beers at any one time, of which I'm just about to package a couple now, because we've got to run the beers up to LCBF on Monday. Today's Sunday, so we've got to run the beers up to there to be delivered for beforehand. So it's all kind of go at the moment. So yeah, we've got to have all our beers on site, so I've got to run them up separately. I guess some people are just palletising and sending them via courier because they can afford it, but we can't afford that sort of stuff, so I'm taking them up myself. So they've got to be on site 5 days before. I've had to tell them exactly what beers we're pouring each session on each day beforehand. I had to decide that like a week ago. So that's been quite hard work. So I've got to run them up and get them there. Some of the beers are looking quite good. This one's sat on the side for a little bit. I'm not going to give it away, but it's quite a fruity sour, this one, so should be quite interesting. I mean, it is basically 6% fruit juice. Oh, refreshing in this weather, I tell you. So yeah, that's what we're doing. So we're going to run these kegs off, get them to one side. So tomorrow after work, I can zoom up to London, drop them off and get them in the venue. Yeah, then we should be good to go. So let's get this stuff kegged. Seven.
18.
So here we are, just dropped the beer off. Event venue, bars there. Oh, that's where the stage is going to be with the DJ and stuff. All the beer is all been coming in and being sorted on pallets for each day. That's our first Impy Stout going in. There's the rest of our beers going for our stands on the right day, which is awesome. There's other people here with various other kegs and bits and pieces. Exciting. And then down here on the floor, you can see all the various markings they've marked out already. Looks like that's the doors going outside there. So we are G4, G5, G6, G7. This is the Maverick pitch. This is where we'll be, facing out this way. So we'll be facing out here. By the looks of it, we've got the doors here that will be going outside. So that should be quite a good spot. Loads of other breweries around us, right nice in the middle, right by the stage as well. Should be awesome. So yeah, run up, deliver the beers, got them here in time, thank God. Some people started delivering stuff already. And yeah, should be good fun. Run back, keg those beers obviously to get them up here, and then yeah, and then we'll be on really. Got some canning to do on Thursday, and then we're away. But yeah, so big old space as well, isn't it? Massive space. I think these are going to be the doors going to the outside space. I think maybe. I'll have to have a look. But hopefully we've got a good spot. So yeah, the guys here are awesome. They've sorted us right out. Have a look at some of the mountains of beer that are here though. So yeah, mountains of beer being dropped off. Loads of Budvar there and lots of Kegstar and E-kegs and key kegs galore actually. I still don't quite know how I feel about those. But yeah, it's all going on. So yeah, a little turnaround, drive back, have a beer. So there you go, an empty van, 12 kegs delivered. Job done. Right, let's get back on the road. So, hello again everyone. I can take my glasses off actually, you're far enough away. Don't get old kids, it's not good. So yeah, just back from delivering the beer up to LCBF. It wasn't too bad a drive, hour 40 there, hour 40 back. A little bit easier on the way back because rush hour had kind of died down. Not too bad a drive. But yeah, got the beer dropped off. I thought I'd just give a little bit of a rundown of the stuff that's kind of gone on over the last couple of weeks. So things I if I'd known before. Part one. So to be able to exhibit at LCBF, obviously you have to pay for your pitch, which we talked about earlier. It's like $2,500, including VAT. But there's a number of other things that I hadn't really quite considered or knew about. So first things first is you have to submit your beer list about 3 weeks in advance, maybe a bit more. Now, obviously, once I knew we were going, I'd planned for what beers we were going to make, what we were going to take, or at least as much as you can in a small brewery like us. And I've brewed those beers, which we'll be canning very soon on Thursday. Today's Monday, the 14th, ahead of obviously LCBF 18th, 19th. So you've got to submit that online. Not only do you have to submit that online beforehand, you've also got to define how many kegs you're delivering of each beer type, which of the 4 sessions you want those kegs over those 2 days. So you have AM, PM sessions, and you have to define 3-4 weeks in advance. We're pouring this beer in the morning, this beer in the afternoon. We're going to have 4 lines, because shout out to my mate Brooke at Brolly Brewing. He's lent me his Linda machine. So with the new bar, we're going to have 4 taps going at once. And you've got to decide that 3-4 weeks in advance, which was a bit of an eye-opener. As well, you have to list out weeks in advance all the people that are coming. So it turns out we've not been given any free tickets. So it was mentioned before that we were going to get some free tickets to be able to kind of raffle off or give away to followers, but that's just not transpired this year. New venue for them this year, so whether that's kind of lent into that a little bit. So yeah, so we've had to register all the people that are helping on each of the 4 sessions: trade session, public session, afternoon Friday, Saturday daytime session, Saturday evening session. We've had to declare again all that weeks in advance. We've had to up our public liability insurance from 2 million up to 5 million, because that was their requirement. So we had to do that kind of short notice. We've had to submit risk assessments and method statements for all of our beers, for our stand, our staff, what we're doing, how we're going to manage any allergies, all that sort of stuff as well. There's been other things. I keep getting emails. Oh, you haven't done this thing. Go on the portal and do this. The other thing that's been an absolute eye-opener, and hence the reason for the kind of slight panic, if I'm honest, was some of the cut-offs we've got to deal with. So cut-off is beer delivery has to be complete by, I think, it was either 6 o'clock today, Monday the 14th, or it's 6 o'clock tomorrow, Tuesday the 15th. Absolute cut-off. Your beer's got to be on site 5 days before. You've also got to what they call rig, so set your bar up. Your bar has to be on site and set up and ready to go by 7 o'clock on the Thursday at the latest. Nothing on the day. And you've got to register the people. That's the other thing. You've got to register the people that are going to be coming up and doing that rigging up. Obviously, the bigger boys, they're sending stuff up on pallets. There's teams turning up in vans. All that stuff. That's not us. You know, we're small now. I want to say 3-man band, 2 men and a lady. So basically, up and back on today on a Monday, up and back again on a Thursday. So we can get the bar in, get the wonderful new Maverick bar on wheels. That's part of the idea with it being on wheels. We can get everything inside, wheel it in. Now I've seen the space, as you've seen, actually having that baby on wheels and just wheeling that puppy in is just going to be absolutely awesome. Same thing with getting it out again. So we've got to go and do that on Thursday and then go back up again Friday morning. Another level of complexity to add to that as well is registration. So any of the staff or people that are coming in to help, got to pre-register them. Also, you have to be on site and with your lanyard and your accreditation picked up at the desk by 10 o'clock at the latest. And that's absolute latest on each day for the morning session. And then I think it's something like 12 o'clock, I think, for the evening session at the latest. If you don't, that's it, you're not coming in, full stop. So if I'm not there or someone gets there and they're late, apparently they're just not going to let you in. So that's added a level of complexity to some of my helpers and Kirsty and Charlie that come along to help. So that's going to be an interesting one. I kind of get it, right? Because new venue, can't have Joe Public going around. I'm just enjoying well, you can see that. Light's not great in here, but a fresh out-of-tank glass of Big Bird, which will be pouring at LCBF and is going into cans. Watch out for our new improved web shop, by the way. We've had a load of help from one of our members of our homebrew club, who's worked an absolute miracle on our web shop. You'll be able to buy the LCBF mix cases. They'll be going live over LCBF weekend and thereafter. So you'll be able to buy 6s and 12s of all the beers that we had pouring there, apart from the Imperial Stout, because that's not going to be coming out until Christmas officially in bottles. But keep your eye open for a Rogue One, now, as it's now been called. Anyway. Do you know what? Actually, I think that might be the best Big Bird we've done so far, actually. Really good strata hops from Lochran Brewer Select. So yes, that's just a little bit into the kind of the time and effort that's gone into getting us there for LCBF, really. 3 hours in a van, bit of stress getting these beers kegged, because we've still got the beers in tank ready for canning on Thursday. And we'll then probably keg the rest post LCBF weekend. The tanks are going to stay empty while I go away on holiday. So I go away 23rd of July. LCBF is done. We keg the rest of the beers. Cans are done. Web shop's up. Charlie and Kirsty can just run the show. And I'm going to sit back and drink crap lager by the side of a pool. And just chill out. It's been a super busy year, so I'm looking forward to a bit of a relaxation, and then come back strong, and we can really kick on with the team we've got. Because I think hopefully LCBF is going to be good for us and really kind of get us out there a bit more. So yeah, that's kind of it. Just going to keep on recording stuff. I've no idea what's going to come next. Might be some canning, who knows? But yeah, this is the road to LCBF.